Stupid little brain dead snowflakes. You better take your fucking anxiety tablets to this one, you bastards. Truth hurts, mate. Wow. Perfection. You pathetic, sensitive snowflakes, you cannot cancel me. I manifest reality, I'm good financially. I fly to France and Greece and buy a house in Anglesey, I'm good. I don't need a helping hand, I'm not an amputee. When I'm kicking down your door, you cannot handle me. Everybody knows you be running like a handkerchief. I chop your head off and hang it by my mantelpiece. I covered every angle, G, you cannot cancel me. Because I'm independent, I make music when I feel like. No one is stopping me, the internet's not real life. In reality, face to face you'd have a real fright. If it's beef, I'm on top of it, like a cheese slice. So if you tempt me, just know your life is temporary, and I will take it from you. God's the one who sent me. People's opinions, they don't upset me. Their heads are empty, so I'm living in their rent free. I'm the best at drum and bass, you cannot cancel me. Nice try, dickheads, very good effort. I'm successful, that's why everyone is jealous. So I've come to the conclusion there's a madness in my methods. I'm only human, not a god, I don't pretend to be. When I die, don't cry, just remember me. Big up all the fans who are defending me. Society is sensitive, but they could never censor me. You silly little humans, are you deaf and dumb? I don't answer to anyone except my mum. Show respect, I'm a legendary veteran. I'm absolutely sick, music is my medicine. You jealous little haters, I bet you're mad. I don't answer to anyone except my dad. I'm just talking truth, I just tell them facts. My flow is devilish because I've been to hell and back. How can I be homophobic though? My bitch is gay. I love lesbians, so please don't get it twisted, mate. I'm not homophobic.
Afternoon, PooTube. Hope everyone's good. Now, I've put a couple of premieres out yesterday, day before. I think I'm going to put a few more out or whatever. Now, all I've had to do realistically is stick to the truth, the facts, and the evidence. Now, if that makes certain people uncomfortable, then that would be a them problem, wouldn't it, realistically? Now, I've not had to twist anything, I've not had to lie, I've not had to make up narratives, and not had to run with bullshit fucking hate campaigns or whatever. Now, what I have done along the way is defend decent fucking people. Now, the first time I did a live was fucking hell, it was a long time ago, but was basically because our veterans was being used in a treasonous plot off the back of a 20-year prolific scammer, and for some fucking unforeseen reason the veterans alongside a lot of patriots fell for the bullshit, believed that you could somehow go and storm Parliament off the back of a scrapbook of a 20-year scammer. Now, all that's been proven. All that was proven a long time ago, and realistically, do you know what I mean? There's nobody that can point the fingers or whatever and try and make me into something that I'm not. I've shown what I'm about, I've shown what I will speak up for, and it doesn't have to be me that's effective. For some people, they'll say, oh well, you know, X, Y or Z, they've never done out to me or whatever. I don't need something to happen to me. If it's happening to decent people, well, yeah, that's probably going to get me attention. I'm probably going to speak out on it. It's been that way from day one. It will probably continue to be that way in the future. It is that simple. Now, if I can stop decent people being trapped into some bullshit, and especially if I can show them that there is actually ways that you can achieve what you want to achieve, but without falling for the bullshit, without buying bullshit shares and something that's not going anywhere and whatever, then I'll always attempt to provide that or whatever, to send them to the right places, etc. Now that's all I've done realistically for the time that I've been around. I've supported anything and everything that seems worthy of people's time, whether it's just awakening people up to the grooming situation, whether that be with Tommy, Britain First, Football Lads Alliance, DFLA, PAG UK, Marius, the list goes on and on and on and on and on, of things that I have supported and will continue to support. Now, does that mean realistically that if something that is going on isn't great, then I'm not going to be able to point that out? No, it doesn't mean that. If something can be done, but done better by giving a little constructive criticism, then I will do that, and there's nobody that will tell me otherwise. It is that simple. Now, you don't have to like what I say. Do you know what I mean? It's neither here nor there. It's not going to make or break my day. A few fucking idiots or whatever usually that make out by me giving a little constructive criticism that somehow makes me a bad guy or a traitor or any of the other bullshit that they come out with. Not being funny, but I've done more on my days off than people like Jupiter does on a daily fucking bullshit, 16 hours a day online. Realistically, what has she ever done? She's been to 2 demonstrations. We're not going to count the one at the prison for obvious reasons. That's it. That's all she's ever done. Oh, and she's been to fucking Speaker's Corner that's on her doorstep a couple of times, and she's done that to wind up situations, to then play the victim. Not being funny, but you can't wind up a situation with a tiny little girl half your size and then turn up, get slapped about, get a fucking slapping around and get a drink chucked over you or whatever, and then cry victim. When you've turned up to cause an issue, you've wound it up to that situation, you can't then go, I'm being bullied, ring the police. Do you know what I mean? That just makes you look like a straight up pussy. It is that simple. A fucking professional victim. Now, Jupiter's been a professional victim for the whole time she has been around. That's why she's not liked by many people at all. You could literally write down on the back of your hand the amount of people that would actually make out that with their own face and voice that, yeah, I support Jupiter because of X, Y and Z or whatever. There's not many people at all. Now, when you figure out that actually somebody like Jupiter is pulling these known wrongings along with her and using half their bullshit and whatever to just cause more problems for more people, when you work out that, it's very simple realistically. For my mind, Jupiter is not in this situation for the right things in any way, shape or form. If you're in it for the right reasons, you would always be constantly trying to clean up the situation and remove or discard any wonky cunts that are just literally in it to cause the problems. So Wake Up UK, for instance, if he's the person, which he is, that has platformed and protected the King's flag shit, which I shut down when I first joined the internet. Not the movement, the internet. And then you can show that that person has actually tried to show said scammers how to remove the evidence that's being put forward to stop people getting scammed, to stop people being enrolled into a treasonous plot. You've got to be able to look at that and think, well, is that a person that you would want around the movement? For me, it's very obvious answers or whatever, but for some, maybe not, I don't know. Now, when they go on further than that and they go, oh, okay, the people that have come away from the scam, people like Kaylee or whatever, what we'll do, we'll offer a platform and a slot on fucking Wake Up UK, and we'll promise her we'll get rid of all your trolls over the space of 24 hours. All you have to do is just kind of side with me and go against them, yeah? And then the first show that they do, and there was about 20-25 people around that show or whatever, where they was trying to make out, and I can put this video out, it's not a problem. They was trying to make out that Tommy Robinson was poisoning that mad Eric, poisoning his dogs and setting fire to his cars, etc. You letting me go or not? Just pure mental shit or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Now, this is the same Eric which claims Danny Tomo is solely responsible for his son, this Eric's fucking son or whatever, being in prison because of a bag of paperwork. Those that know that Tracy Blackwell was involved in that situation at the time or whatever. Again, another hate campaign cleared up, flat packed and disposed of or whatever. Now, there's no shortage of hate campaigns that I've flat packed and destroyed, and I've enjoyed doing it, to be fair. I don't like it when people lie, I don't like it when people chat shit, I don't like it when people have to make up fucking wild accusations and hate campaigns just because they don't like X, Y or Z. Do you know what I mean? When they do so, I take great pleasure in deconstructing it, do you know what I mean? Pulling it apart bit by bit in front of their eyes. And I always tell them what I'm going to do. I tell them what I'm going to do before I do it. I give them all the fucking information and time or whatever to try and stop me doing it or whatever. And I do so anyway. So when you've done that for as long as I have or whatever, people like Jupiter, I'm not being funny, but you're not equipped to be able to deal with the shit or whatever. Come on. You a fucking dickhead. Hurry up, you fucking mong. It's taking prick. I'm going to dive out the car, I'll be back in a minute. Now, I've got enough about me or whatever to see these cunts for what they are. I know all the dirty tactics that these wonky cunts like to use or whatever, so I preempt everything. And that's why realistically they don't really stand a chance. If they stood on the truth, the facts and the evidence and accepted that, okay, you know, maybe they didn't know this or that or whatever, and now they're aware, they can make a healthier opinion of things or whatever, that would probably do the world of good. But unfortunately, wonky cunts like Jupiter don't seem to be able to do that. Now, I am going to put a premiere out when Wendy and Jupiter fell out or whatever. Or was it a fallout? Because now they're saying no, it's all like kind of staged and I knew what Wendy was doing and fucking all this bullshit. So I'm going to re-air one of Wendy's and you can see realistically, does it fit in with the bullshit that Jupiter's already made out or whatever. Jupiter and Wendy. Now, if it doesn't seem like it fits and it seems like what Wendy's doing and putting out was genuine at the time, then that's something for you to question yourselves, isn't it? Realistically, because according to them, it was all kind of staged and Wendy was going there to infiltrate the group. Wendy was going to infiltrate the hope not hate bullshit and whatever. So it's an opportunity for you to make your mind up on that situation or whatever. I think it's pretty obvious the fallout was genuine. Now Wendy will tell you that she went in there to get some information and that was going to be useful somewhere or whatever, even though nobody's seen it, and it made no difference to taking down that load of bullshit, that load of hate campaign from Hope Not Hate, wonky cunts. Wendy's seen it differently and believe that whatever she's brought out there, infiltrating them for 10 months, somehow makes a difference or whatever. Now, you can ask Wendy and you'll be told, did you win your licence in a fucking... what the fuck? I think they're all on day release today. Right, yeah, so it's one of them. I'm gonna whack a premiere out today. I think it was about maybe 3.5 hours, somewhere around there. It just gives people an opportunity to have a look what was said back then or whatever. Bear in mind what is being said as of recent, that Wendy was infiltrating that group and Jupiter's aware of it, blah blah blah, this, that and the other. Yeah. Now what it will do is show you that what I'm saying now with Jupiter, the situation which I've promised her, not a threat, promised her, is coming out Christmas time or whatever. It will show you pretty much that what I'm saying is correct. Now, I never like to involve anybody other than the person. I certainly don't like to go down the route of family members and whatever, but when you're dealing with such a scumbag like Jupiter that has used my son several times, you'll have the Jupiter support team or whatever, the GDL, saying, oh well, you know, your son's not a child or whatever, the one in question's not a child, he's a fully grown man, blah blah blah. Yeah, he is. Does that change anything realistically? Did that change him from being used, being targeted, having his face put out there, having his name put out there, having his phone number put out there? Did that stop him losing his job? The answer to all of that is no, it doesn't change anything. So realistically, for me to point out what's already been made public, then it's neither here nor there. I'm just literally confirming certain things to be the truth. Simple as that. Now, my son, unlike Jupiter's fucking son or whatever, he ain't got a criminal history. He ain't got nothing to be ashamed about. He ain't got no fucking skeletons in his closet. And yeah, it is what it is. Some people will kind of deserve a bit of light putting on them or whatever, and some people don't. My son was dragged into shit, nothing to do with fuck all. He was first dragged into it when I was highlighting and exposing scammers which was targeting veterans and patriots. That's fact. It's not up for discussion, it is not up for debate, and I can reproduce any of the fucking lives, etc., which shows that clear as day or whatever. They obviously didn't like the fact that I was bringing that little bullshit scam and treasonous plot to an end. I guess some people wanted to see veterans in prison for storming Parliament off the back of a fucking scrapbook from a 20-year prolific scammer. Now, you've heard Jupiter say, oh well, you know, it never happened. Yeah, it never happened. What? I think Jupiter, for me to prove a point or something, literally what he does to sit on our hands, warn nobody, let veterans storm Parliament, and then go, oh look, now you can say it, now you can say you fucking, you know, oh, you should have listened, blah blah blah. That doesn't make sense in my mind. If you can keep people out of shit and out of prison, then you do so. It's that simple. Not being funny, but when people are doing more than talking shit online and actually getting up off their ass and doing shit, which the veterans had planned to do so, the evidence is out there, far too much evidence out there that shows what they was going to do, how they was going to do it, when they was going to do it, etc. Now, that would have been an epic fuck up if that would have gone ahead. Everybody that is clued up around that situation is fully aware of that. So the right thing to do was to call it out, to make a fuss, to the point where people had to kind of assess things, reassess things, etc. To the point where Simon Bean and Dean Cumblepatch both came out, did videos, informed other veterans and patriots that they are not part of that, they was misled with certain things and it's nothing but a scam, blah blah blah. Now, I'm happy at that point. I've proved what was said was the case or whatever. It's just funny that it's one of them, the decent, genuine people that came away from that and went, fucking hell, didn't realise, blah, blah, blah. We had loads of people come out. We had loads of people come forward and say, fucking hell, I totally didn't know that. I was being used, I was being fucking had over. I've done X, Y, and Z and I've made it public to warn other people or whatever. We had people come on Rude Awakening to have their say, to make it clear to others that, yeah, you don't want to get behind that, blah, blah, blah. You know, what CMW are saying and showing you is correct or whatever. And if you want lawful solutions, they seem to be the people to go to or whatever. Simon Bean's done videos on it and whatever, and sent people from the veterans community to CMW. So it is what it is. It's been shown for the time that they've been around, for all the years that they've been around, to be exactly what it says it is on the tin. It is Ronseal. It's not fucking jamming the tin when it says Ronseal. It is what it says it is. Now, I'll always support decent, genuine fucking things. It is that simple. Just because I came away from the Tommy movement or whatever, it's neither here nor there. What people have got to realise is there's many components to a movement. Tommy is not the be all and end all. There was people speaking out well before Tommy, and there's people speaking out now or whatever, and have been for months and years or whatever. So it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? People can say whatever they want. It's not really going to affect my day. Jupiter will try and make out, oh, you know, he's a traitor, is this, that and the other. Well, how would that work out realistically when, even though I've come away from the movement over 3 years ago, that I've actually been to events or whatever? Doesn't really make sense, does it? If people remember the Telford, I think it was the first Telford or whatever, you had Brian Hurl, Esau, Danny Jones, can't remember off the top of my head. There was about 5-6 people that were saying they were going to come down, they're going to meet us there, myself and Kayla, and they're going to put me in hospital, blah blah blah, this, that and the other. Now, again, who turned up? I turned up. Did anyone else turn up? Or did they make excuses? Now, I'll always stand on what I've said. It is that simple. If I get something wrong, I'll always acknowledge, you know what I mean? I got that wrong or whatever. And, you know, I'll explain the situation or whatever. Now, that's not really happened very many times. Go on, dude. Baby's getting wet. Fucking hell. A day for the ducks today, innit? Fucking hell. So, yeah, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I'll always stand on my square regardless whether people like me, hate me. I couldn't give a fuck. It's honestly not important to me in any way, shape or form. Now, yeah, I'm going to leave it as that. I'm going to whack out a premiere of Wendy's and take what you want from it, do you know what I mean? But that's what you're looking at. Is it genuine, the fallout between Wendy and Jupiter, or is it all staged and both parties knew about it, this, that and the other, Wendy was just infiltrating Hope Not Hate for some evidence? Yeah. And then if you believe that, if you believe Wendy's side of things, then realistically you should be able to ask her, well, what was the evidence? What's this damning evidence or whatever, which nobody seems to be aware of. it's going to be a little bit awkward for Wendy, considering I've got lots of discussions that was going on around that time. So you've had Wendy say several times that she came away from that situation because she spoke to the father of the girl that Danny Tomo had sex with, and as soon as she realised she was 26 and not 15 or 14 or 12,